on, we'll go to the next session. We have Sri Sudhanshu Shekhar ji, who will be speaking on rejection of causation as per KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya. Namaste Sudhanshu ji. Thank you for accepting our invite. Just a brief introduction. Sudhanshu Shekhar ji is from Bihar and has done his BTech in mechanical engineering from IIT Kanpur. And subsequently, he cleared his civil service examinations and was selected for Indian Revenue Service. He currently works as Commissioner of Income Tax in New Delhi, and he has also completed his LLB from Mumbai University. He is a student and seeker of Advaita Vedanta who tries to live the teachings in accordance with Vivarana Prasthana. Once again, warm welcome to Sudhanshu ji. Please go ahead and start your session.
Thank you, Nitinji. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Perhaps a little bit volume is down. I think you can increase the volume if you can.
Okay. So before starting, Yat Sakshat Satchidanandam Pratyagadvayam Kriyam Tannamami Nrsinghasya Yogigamyam Parampadam. So today's topic is rejection of causation as per the KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya. Now, causation here is the word used for KAraNa-tva, means causal character or causehood. So, whenever we say in our Vyavahara that clay is the cause of pot, so we are basically saying that there is a dharma called KAraNa-tva or causehood in clay, because of which clay is able to give rise to pot. This fundamental feature which is inherent in all our vyavahara. So we say that, okay, I have put in a lot of effort in studies, therefore I passed the exam. So studying hard is the cause of passing exam. Then we say that I have taken metformin, so my sugar level has dropped. So we are saying that metformin is having a causal character. There is a causehood in it with respect to the reduction of sugar level. So if we see our all vyavahara, whether Lokik vyavahara or Shastri vyavahara, Vedic vyavahara, everywhere this causal character is inherent. It is there in all our activities. I will do dhyana so that this will happen. I will do Shastra Vihit Karma with Ishwar Arpit Buddhi so that my Chitta will become Shuddha and I will get the Yogyata for Jnana Nishtha. So everywhere this causal character is inbuilt. Now, interestingly, this very idea is taken up by KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya to say that this causehood or KAraNa-tva is mithya. What exactly is mithya? So mithya means something which does not exist but which appears to exist. So traikalik pratipanna upadhav traikalik nishedh pratiyogitvam. So I will just share a PPT so that there is proper flow in the talk. Nitinji, is the PowerPoint visible?
Yes, it is visible. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So now the first thing first, what exactly, I will just give an introduction as to how this entire thing fits in the Advaita Vedanta. What is the role of rejection of causation in Advaita Vedanta? So as per Advaita Vedanta, whatever we see, this entire drishya, which is the anatma or which is the world, is mithya. Why? Because it is drishya. So on account of being seen, this world is mithya. This is categorically proved by Bhashyakara in Mandukya Upanishad 2.4. He says that Jagrat Drishyanam Bhavanam Vaitathyam iti pratigya. Vaitathya and mithya are same. So he said that whatever we see in Jagrat is mithya, drishyatvat, on account of being seen. And what is the analogy? What is the example? Swapna drishya bhavavat. So whatever we are seeing in this waking world is mithya, is the bottom siddhanta of Advaita Vedanta. What exactly is mithya? There is another definition given in Panchapadika where Acharya says that mithya iti anirvachanIya uchyate. So whatever is mithya, by definition, it will also be anirvachanIya. Now question arises, what is anirvachanIyata? Does it mean that I cannot say anything about it? So is it nirukti viraha matra? Means we cannot say anything about something, then it is anirvachanIya? So then the opponent may say, well, you are using the very word anirvachanIya to describe it. So this word you are saying is anirvachanIya, but you are using the word anirvachanIya to describe it. Then how exactly it remained anirvachanIya? So that is answered in Advaita Siddhi, wherein Madhusudan Saraswati Swamiji says, Nahi nirukti virah matrena anirvachatyam brumah. We do not say that there is complete, or means we cannot say anything about the anirvachaniya vastu. Rather, sattvadina nirukti virahena. We cannot describe it as either sat or either asat. Now, sat here means something which cannot be negated in 3 periods of time, traikalik abadhyatvam. And asat means kvachitapi upadho Sattvena pratiti anarhatvam, something which cannot appear as existing in any locus, something like horns of hair. So if something cannot be described either as sat or asat, then it is anirvachaniya, that is mithya, and whatever is seen is mithya. That is the sum and substance of Advaita Vedanta. Now Nyaya does not accept this world to be anirvachaniya. They say that it is satya. So that position is refuted in great detail in KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya, and it establishes that whatever definition you are providing, that can be refuted. You cannot say that I have coherently defined as per my own Siddhanta. So in this session, we have taken up KAraNa-tva. So Nyayika would say that, look, there is a KAraNa-tva. Your behavior itself testifies to it. Your sugar level went up, so you took metformin and your sugar level dropped. So definitely you yourself are holding that metformin is having some KAraNa-tva towards reduction of blood sugar. What is the problem in it? So that position is taken up in KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya. We will see it. I have also prepared a detailed note in PDF. I will share that also, so that the discussion becomes more meaningful. So now the definitions which have been taken up in KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya for refutation of KAraNa-tva are 8. So I have just written it one by one. I will explain in English. The first definition of KAraNa-tva taken is Purva Bhavitvam. So if X is prior to Y, if X exists before Y, then it is Karana. So how it is refuted, we will see later. I am just reading it out. Now within Purva Bhavitvam, the opponent will improvise it, and it will say that no, it is not that the Karana should merely exist before Karya. There should also be no Vyavadhana between Karana and Karya. Then Ananyatha Siddha Purva Bhavitvam we will see. The next definition, Nyaya says that Vyaparavatvam Karanatvam. There is something called Vyapara. So if X is having that Vyapara, then that X is called Karana. Then third is Nitya Sattva Asatvayoh Anyatar Prasakti Nivarakatvam. So Karana is something which is having a property called Karanatva, because of which the eternal existence and non-existence of Karya is prevented. We will see later. Next is Yat Anabhyupagame Yasya Tat Purva Sattva Prasanga Tat Tasya Karanam. So Karanam is something, if we do not accept that, suppose Karana is something, the non-acceptance of which leads to existence of Karya even before its production. So this is the fourth definition. That if we do not, Karana is something that if we do not accept the existence of that Karana, then Karya will be present even prior to its production. Next, fifth is Niyat Pragbhavitvam Karanatvam, means something which necessarily, mandatorily exists prior to Karya is called Karana. That property in that is Karanatvam. Next is Samagri Ekdeshatvam Karanatvam, means there is something called Samagri. Samagri is basically a conglomerate of Karana. So a conglomerate of Karana is called Samagri, and the Ekadeshatva means being located in one area of that Samagri is Karanatva. This is another definition given by Nyaya. Then all these are refuted by Khaṇḍankar. The next is Karya Karan Bhava Sambandh Adhikaranatvam Karanatvam. So this definition he is saying that look, there is Karya, there is Karana, there is a Karya Karana Bhava. There is a Sambandha between that Karya and Karana, and that Sambandha is located in Karana. So that Adhikaranatvam is Karanatvam, means being located, that locatedness in Karana is called Karanatvam. Then finally, Nyaya says, look, I do not want to define, when Khaṇḍankar refutes all the 7 definitions, then he says, look, I do not want to insist on a particular definition. I am merely saying that Karanagat Dharma Vishesha Karanatvam. It is some specific property which is located in Karana, and that is Karanatva. I do not need to define it because it is so obvious, it is so well known. Everybody knows what Karanatva is. Why do you want me to define it? That is the 8th definition, Karanagat Dharma Vishesha Karanatvam. We will take up the first definition, is Purva Bhavitvam. So first definition is the longest one. So even if we take some more time in this, it doesn't matter, because all rest of the definitions except the 8th one are smaller. So first definition is Purva Bhavitvam, in which Nyayika would say, if X exists prior to Y, then X is Karana of Y. So Khaṇḍankar refutes and says, look, if X is destroyed long back, X is in 100 AD and Y is in 2025 AD, then how can there be a relationship between the two? It is long destroyed, there cannot be any relationship between them, then how can X be the Karana of Y? So Nyayika would say, okay, no, it's not like that, that it should be long back. Actually, it should be immediately preceding the Karya. So Karana is something which should immediately precede Karya. So there should be no Vyavadhana, no gap between Karana and Karya. So Karya avyavahit Purva Bhavitvam is what I want to refer to as Karanatva. That is what Nyayika would say. Then Khaṇḍankar says that, look, Shruti says, Yajet Swarga Kama. If you want to have, if you want to go to Swarga, then you do this particular yaga. So Shruti is saying that yaga is the cause of Swarga. Now there is obviously a Vyavadhana between yaga and Swarga. Yaga you are doing now and Swarga you are going after death. There is a Vyavadhana between these two. So if you are insisting on this definition of Karya avyavahit Purva Bhavitvam, then the Karanatva of yaga, which is posited by Shruti, stands refuted. So we will not accept your definition. So then Nyayika says that no, see, actually this Vyavadhana is because of something called Adrishta. This Adrishta is not actually causing any Vyavadhana. Why? Because Adrishta is a Vyapara of yaga. So yaga is something and its Vyapara is Adrishta. Adrishta or Apurva means something which is born out of yaga, which in turn gives rise to Swarga. So the immediate preceding of Swarga is Adrishta. This Adrishta is born from yaga, and this Adrishta is basically a Vyapara of yaga. So because of Vyapara, there can be no Vyavadhana. So yaga will continue to remain as the cause. Then Khaṇḍankar says that, okay, then here is a pot maker who makes pot out of clay. So pot maker's father, he will also become the cause of this clay, because this pot maker will become a Vyapara of that, of his father. But nobody in Loka says that suppose X has created a pot and X father's father is Y. Nobody says that Y is the cause of the pot. Everybody says X is the father of pot. So then opponent says, Nyayika says that no, we can define Vyapara as something like this. Yad vina yad yatna janayati tattasya avantar Vyapara. So yaga cannot give rise to Swarga without Adrishta, but pot maker's father can give rise to pot without his son. Therefore, pot maker's father is not, therefore pot maker is not the Vyapara of pot maker's father, but Adrishta is the Vyapara of yaga. So Khaṇḍankar says that no, this will make that sahakari karana as vyapara. So suppose you are having clay and danda and there is a chakra for making the pot. So now danda cannot give rise to pot without chakra. So what will happen? That chakra will become a vyapara, but nobody in Loka regards chakra as the vyapara of danda. Rather, everybody says that chakra is also a sahakari karana. So that chakra is having karanatva, but you are saying that it is having vyaparatva. So that is refuted. So then opponent says that no. See, the thing is, vyapara should be born from karana. That तज्जन्यत्वे सति तज्जन्य जनको व्यवहार, that vyapara should mandatorily be born from karana. So then Khaṇḍankar says, okay, what is the meaning of janyatva? Isn't janyatva or janakatva basically karanatva? In other words, you are trying to define karanatva and you are using the word janyatva. That is karanatva in other words. Therefore, there is atmashraya dosha. What is atmashraya dosha? Swagyan sapeksh gyan vishayatvam atmashraya. Means I want to know X, and while trying to know X, I need to know Y, and X is the vishaya of that Y. So I need myself to define myself. That is atmashraya dosha. So then opponent says that, okay, fine, I agree. These are not the proper definitions. But let's say that purva bhavitvam. Initially he said purva bhavitvam, and then he said karya avyavhit purva bhavitvam. So that he modifies that ananyatha siddha purva bhavitvam. Let us say karanatva is something which is ananyatha siddha. Means anyatha asiddha. Anyatha asiddha means anya prakarena asiddha. So if the prior existence is such that it cannot be otherwise established, then that means karanatva. So then Khaṇḍankar refutes that, and he says, ki, look, anyatha siddhi, anyatha means anya prakar, and siddhi means either nishpatti, utpatti, or gyapti. Gyapti means knowing, nishpatti means utpatti, production. So it can either be of these four types. And that means basically what you are saying, ki karyat eva karanasya nishpatti, means ananyatha siddha purva bhavitvam can be described only in these four manners. None of these four manners are admissible. Why? That if we take first option, it is karyat eva karanasya nishpatti. Karan is being produced from karya. Nobody in Loka believes that. Karanasya eva karyat eva karanasya gyapti. Please don't this no is typographical error. So karyat eva karanasya gyapte. So that is also not like that. Clay is known as clay also, not necessarily as karana of pot. Then karanatvat eva karanasya nishpatti. Again here there will be atmashraya dosh. And karanatvat eva karanasya gyapte. That is also not seen in Loka. Then he says that, okay, I do not accept these four definitions or four interpretation of ananyatha siddha. I would like to explain it as Nyaya is saying, ananyatha siddha purva bhavitvam is akaranattvena agyatatve sati purva bhavitvam karanatva. Means karanatva is something which is never known as being a karanatva. So that again suffers from atmashraya dosh, because in order to know a karanatva, we need to know what is karanatva. So in these manners, the first definition of purva bhavitvam karanatvam, along with its improvisations, that karya avyavhit purva bhavitvam or ananyatha siddha purva bhavitvam is refuted by Khaṇḍankar. Then we come to second definition, and here he says that Nyaya is saying that karanatva is something. Karanatva is basically possessionhood of vyapara. Vyapara we have just now seen. What is it? Basically in Nyaya it is said that tajjanyatve sati tajjanya janakatva vyapara. Means there is X and Y and Z. So X is giving rise to Z and X is giving rise to Y also. And Y is also giving rise to Z. So that is vyapara. So Khaṇḍankar says, okay, what do you mean by vyapara vatva? Means possessing vyapara means what? Either it can be through samavaya. So vyapara samavayitva, like cloth is located in thread through samvaya sambandh. So he is saying, is vyapara located in karana through samvaya sambandh? Either one is, this is the meaning of vyaparavatva, or vyapar janakatva. So karana is something which is giving birth to vyapara. These two are the possible meanings of vyaparavatva. Now vyapar janakatva is again nothing but karanatva in other way, because we have seen that janakatva is karanatva in other words. So that we cannot accept because of atmashraya dosha. And if we say vyapara samavayitva, then it is having a vyabhichara in adrishta. How? So yaga is the karana of swarga, and you said that adrishta is the vyapara. So yaga gave rise to adrishta, all right. But where is adrishta located? Adrishta is located in atma, in that jiva, but not in yaga. So vyapara is not located in its karana, but in jiva. So therefore, vyaparavatvam karanatvam cannot be accepted. Now, third definition which Khaṇḍanaka rejects is mithyAtva asatvayoh anyatar prasakti nivarakatvam. Means if we do not accept Nyaya is saying that if we do not accept karanatvam, then there will arise the contingency of eternal existence or non-existent of existence of karya. But that is not what is seen in Loka. I am having a book in front of me. So it came into existence at some point of time. It was not eternally existent. Similarly, it will not be eternally non-existent either. So that in very short, Khaṇḍanaka refutes, and he says that, look, what exactly is the meaning of nivarakatvam? It is basically someone or something which is having a property of preventing. The word nivaraka is derived using ni with vri dhatu. Basically, nivarakatva refers to a karta. Now, karta is defined. The meaning of karta is nimitta karana. So like we say, upadana karana, nimitta karana. So nimitta karanatva is equal to kartritva. So nivarakatva refers to karta, which is nothing but nimitta karana. So you are using this big definition, nitya sattva asatvayoh anyatar prasakti nivarakatvam. And in this very definition, you are using the feature of karanatva. So again, atmashraya dosha. Third definition rejected. Fourth definition is saying yat anabhyukame yasya tat purva sattva prasanga tattasya karanam. If you do not accept karana is something that the non-acceptance of which will give rise to a contingency that karya will be present even before its birth. So that very beautifully Khaṇḍanaka rejects, and he says that, see, this definition is having ati vyapti in pot dhvansa. Pot dhvansa is something, there is a pot in before me and then we break it. So now there is something called pot dhvansa abhava. So he said, nobody in Loka says, you yourself do not agree that pot dhvansa is karana of pot. Nobody believes it. But if we do not accept pot dhvansa, then what will happen? That pot will be anant. It will be without end. Now pot is bhava padartha and it is anant. So there is a anuman involved which says that if a bhava padartha is anant, then it will be anadi also. So if we do not accept pot dhvansa, we are bound to have a conclusion that pot is anadi also, without beginning. So the moment when pot is born, even prior to that, it will be existent. So according to your definition, Nyayika's definition, pot dhvansa will become the karana of pot. That is illogical. Therefore, your definition is refuted. So Nyayika says, no, we will improvise it. We will improvise the definition. We will use tat purva sthitatve sati. Means karana is something which mandatorily should be present before karya. Now pot dhvansa is after karya. Therefore, there is no ati vyapti. So then Khaṇḍanaka says that no, see, Roop Prak Abhav Visavi Rasa. Now this is a little technical. I have covered it in detail in my PDF. That Roop, suppose there is a pot which is being born, and all the features like Roop, Rasa, Gandha, they are all appearing together. And prior thereto, there is Prak Abhav of Roop, Rasa, Gandha, everything. So that Roop, suppose you do not accept Roop Prak Abhav, then what will happen? That Rupa will be present even prior to the birth of pot. right? So if we do not accept prak abhav, means that thing is present before that. So rupa prak non-acceptance of rupa prak abhav means that rupa will be present at that time. And since in that particular instance where rupa rasa gandha are being produced together, rasa will also be present. So non-acceptance of rupa prak abhav will lead to existence of rasa even prior to its birth. And rupa prak abhav is purva sthit of rasa. So therefore there will arise a contingency of KAraNa-tva in rupa prak abhav vis-a-vis rasa. So that nobody in the loka accepts. We Nyayika accept that rupa prak abhav is karana of rup. Rasa prak abhav is cause of rasa. But Nyayika does not believe that rupa prak abhav is karana of rasa. So there is ativyapti. Further, KhanDana also says that you are using the word purva. What exactly is the meaning of word purva? That also cannot be defined because there will be atmashya dosha. Then Nyayika says that fine, there can be another definition of niyat prag bhavitvam karanitvam, that mandatorily by rule, if something is existing prior to karya, then that is karana. So KhanDana says that what exactly is the meaning of niyat? Does it mean avashyam bhav or anapadhikatvam? Avashyam bhav is mandatorily pre-existence. So if we accept that, then it is having vyabhichara in the rupa of kapala vis-a-vis rasa of ghata. So when a ghata is born, so it is born from kapala. So kapala is having some rupa and ghata is having some rasa. So rupa of kapala is mandatorily pre-existing to as compared to rasa of ghata, but nobody says that rupa of kapala is a cause of rasa of ghata. So there is vyabhichara. Then he says anapadhikatvam. Anapadhik pragbhavitvam karanatvam. Anapadhikatvam means that naturally, without any condition, without not on account of some additional factor, not on account of adjunct, naturally occurring. So very interestingly, KhanDana says that if you are using this definition, anapadhik pragbhavitvam karanatvam, then suppose there is rain is about to come. Prior to that, ants carry their eggs from lower place to higher place. So that is anapadhik, and it is pragbhavitvam. So therefore, ants carrying their eggs from lower place to higher place will become the cause of rain and not because of that water cycle. So that nobody accepts in Loka. So he says that no, it has to be mandatory. Means it. I agree that whenever ants carry their eggs from lower place to higher place, after that rain happens. But rain also happens without ants carrying their eggs. So there is no vyabhichara. So then KhanDana resorts to Ayurveda in response to that, and he mentions a shloka, and he says, I will just read out that shloka. In that shloka in Ayurveda is Nidanam Purva Rupani Upshayas Tatha Sampraptish Cheti Vijnanam Roganam Panchadhaya Smritam. So there is something called cause of a disease. That cause of disease is called Nidana. And there is something called Purva Rupa. Purva Rupa is basically the disease itself in unmanifest form, and the premonitory symptoms are evident there. So he says that by if we take anapadhik pragbhavitvam, then Purva Rupa will become the cause. But in Ayurveda, we do not accept that as cause. Nidana is called the cause of disease. Therefore, this has a ati vyapti in Purva Rupa. Next definition is samagri ekdeshatvam karanam. Samagri is, as I said, that samagri is a conglomerate of karana. So opponent is saying that the ekdeshatva being located in one area of that samagri is called karanatva. So that KhanDana refute that look, samagri is niravaya. It doesn't have part. There is no ekdeshatva, pradeshatva in samagri. So therefore, samagri ekdeshatvam word is meaningless. And secondly, in order to define samagri, you are using the word karana, and for defining the word karana, you are using the word samagri. So there is atmashraya dosha, ananyashraya dosha. So that is rejected. Seventh definition is karya karana bhav sambandhitvam adhikar karya karana bhav sambandh adhikaranatvam karanatvam. So here is a karya, here is a karana. There is a sambandh between these two, and that sambandh is located in X. So X is called karana. So that is refuted by Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa says that look, karya karana sambandha is located in both, in karana as well as karya. So how can you pick and choose and say that only KAraNa-tva is the adhikaranatva? Karyatva will also become that. So he says that there is ati vyapti in karya. And if you say that no, I will improvise this definition and karya sambandhitvam I will imply, then there will be anyashya dosha. Eighth definition is his surrenders, and his Nyaya says that look, I do not want to go on defining it. KAraNa-tva everyone knows in the world. So what is the need to define it? It is some specific dharma which is located in karana. Karanagat dharma vishesha KAraNa-tvam. I see it by pratyaksha, you see it by pratyaksha. I see it by anumana also. So therefore there is no need to specifically define it. So that Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa is, it's a detailed refutation, and he says that look, you cannot say that KAraNa-tva is known by either pratyaksha or anumana or by arthapatti, because that is simply impossible. Because KAraNa-tva is known whether by being qualified with karya or without qualified by karya. If you say with without qualified by karya, so we do not have the pratyaksha of KAraNa-tva, KAraNa-tva, KAraNa-tva. We do not have pratyaksha like this. We have the pratyaksha ghat karana, pat karana, like that. So it is always qualified with karya vishesha. But while being qualified with karya, whether it is karya visheshit qualified, means ghat one karana, ghat two karana, ghat three karana, or ghat karana, is कार्य सामान्य विशेषित कारणत्व और कार्य विशेष विशेषित कारणत्व. So he says that कार्य सामान्य विशेषित कारणत्व is also not possible. कार्य विशेष विशेषित कारणत्व is also not possible. Basically, pratyaksha of karanatva is not possible at all. And since pratyaksha of karanatva is not possible, therefore anumana is also not possible. And arthapatti, if you want to go to arthapatti, even that is not acceptable. I have given in detail in this PDF. And then Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa, Nitinji, how much time do I have more?
I think you could take few minutes and conclude in 4-5 minutes.
Right. So similarly, Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa would also say that KAraNa-tva can neither be nitya nor anitya, because if it is, these are all, so all the refutations is covered. The 8 refutations by Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa is covered. I will just take a moment to say what is it that we have got from here. That if we reject KAraNa-tva, if Khaṇḍanakhaṇḍa rejects KAraNa-tva, how does it help us in Advaita Vedanta? So now, see, our Vyavahara is using KAraNa-tva or Karya Karana Bhava in each of our activities. So I am doing Karma Yoga to achieve Chitta Shuddhi. I am reading Upanishad in order to attain something. But that KAraNa-tva has been proved to be anirvachanIya, means it merely appears to exist while it does not exist. Pratipanna upadho trakalik nishedh pratiyogitvam is there. So, like in dream, I saw that a potter took clay and made pot. So I said that this clay is the cause of this pot. But we know that there is no clay there, there is no pot there, and there is no causal connection between the two. That clay and pot are born at the very same moment in the dream. So, Vichara Sagara would say that drishti samaye samakale eva utpannanam. Pot and clay are born at the very same time. There is yukpat srishti. Tesham madhe, between these two, that dream clay and dream pot, naiva asti vastuta purva paschat kalata parasparam karya karanatva. There is no causal connection between the two. Cause necessarily has to exist prior to why. Karana has to exist prior to why, but when both of them are being created simultaneously, there is no purva paschat kalata, no paraspar karya karanata. And therefore, chirantanatva, that this thing is existing from so long, Himalayas is existing from time immemorial, Purva Paschat Bhayata, these are all born together, they are all mithya, they are all anirvachanIya. So what? So now what is the thing? So basically, I am doing this, and therefore it will lead to this. This drishti goes. So there is seen, this world is seen, and I am seeing, without having a belief in the usefulness or fruitfulness of effort. So the causehood inherent in an effort goes, and then we merely see. We situate as the Sakshi. And when we do not see at that time, we situate as the Shuddha Chaitanya.
Thank you very much for bringing to attention, highlighting a very important aspect of KhanDana-KhanDa-KhAdya, the rejection of causation. Thank you very much for a wonderful talk.